Hi, mystery writers. Welcome to the studio. And today I want to talk about point of view for mystery writers and a point of view that is very usable for mysteries. It's limited third person point of view. And let's talk about why it's a good choice for your mystery. Um, How you tell your story makes a difference. So, point of view is the voice that tells the mystery to your reader. Third person point of view allows readers to know what the narrator thinks and experiences without going directly into their head. So, it's different than first person point of view. Um, so, Ursula K Le Guin gives a great description of third person limited point of view in her writing manual, Steering the Craft, which I do actually highly recommend. Um, she said, only what the viewpoint character knows, feels, perceives, thinks, guesses, hopes, remembers, etc., can be told. The reader can infer what other people feel and think only from the viewpoint character's observation of their behavior. So, with the third person limited point of view, we get to know what's going on in the narrator's head, what they see, what they feel, what they think about other characters in the story, but we can only guess, or as Ursula Le Guin suggests, infer what is going on with other characters. So that actually gives us an opportunity to display things, one, that our um, protagonist sleuth might miss. He might miss a clue from another character, because remember, it's only that person's point of view. So, third person limited point of view creates an intimacy with uh, your reader, even though the story is not told in the first person. As a writer, you can reveal thoughts and responses that allow readers to sense and feel what your character is doing. Using different scenes, you can tell the story from the point of view of other characters other than your protagonist. Most mystery and suspense writers alternate between the protagonist and the antagonist if they use a dual uh, point of view. And sometimes even write in different point of view. For instance, the antagonist may be told in the first person, where the protagonist is told with the third person. But I don't want to get too far into that today. Um, so one of the things, and one of the good things this does for mysteries, is that it creates a mystery with uncertainty, because your reader is always uncertain that your protagonist, the narrator, the person who's telling the story, has the whole picture, right? That the reader's kind of behind their shoulder, peering over, um, watching and feeling what your protagonist is doing, but it's only what your protagonist senses. So if your protagonist misses something, which comes to trip them up later in your story, the reader will understand. They understand because they're following along from your protagonist's perspective. You, as a writer, challenge your sleuth to dig deeper to discover motivations and actions that those characters keep hidden. And your sleuth's challenge is to peel back the layers of understanding to solve that mystery puzzle. Another thing that, oh, let me rephrase that. Another way that third person point of view works in a mystery is that it builds tension. When the character has limited knowledge, so does your reader. Your reader is trapped in the head of that one character. And as you keep secrets from the character, you build tension for the reader. And as your protagonist encounters challenges, your reader follows along, expectant for the next discovery in your mystery story. So, good mystery writing involves keeping your character and your reader in suspense. So, the reader comprehension in your story evolves as you progress through the story. As the mystery progresses, your reader's perspective on characters and situations evolves, and that's because your protagonist's perspective changes as well. This evolution of understanding is exactly what mystery readers want. And because they see only what the character sees, they are tied to their discovery path of your mystery. Alright? So, what are the challenges of writing in third person limited point of view? Because there's always the downside, yes. The most common challenge for beginning writers to third person limited point of view is the temptation to head hop. That means changing character heads within a scene. So you're going along and your reader is inside your protagonist's head, and then all of a sudden you're telling them something from another character's perspective in that scene. You just don't do that. That is called head hopping, going from one head to another. In other words, from your protagonist's head to another character's head. All we get to know with third person limited point of view is what that one character who we're following in the story, what they sense and feel. Okay. If you go outside the view of your protagonist, use separate scenes to illuminate another character's point of view. It's just that simple. Just don't do it within a scene. And readers may or may not like you doing that, so you're going to have to test the waters with that one. You really want to limit the number of characters you use to narrate your story. Beside the protagonist and the antagonist, if you're using others, choose wisely if you want to let your reader inside another character's head. The point of your mystery is to create a puzzle to your reader. Too many viewpoints muddies the waters of your story. So you're kind of getting away from the story, which is progressing toward your main character, discovering the truth into the heads of all these different interesting characters. So that's a place where beginning writers can kind of go off track with third person point of view. So the other thing is to choose the point of view before you start writing. If you have doubts, try writing the beginning in the first person point of view and the third person to see what flows better from your mind. I tried this a few years ago, thinking I wanted to be inside the protagonist's head in first person. And as I thought about how the story would unfold, I realized that third person limited would work better for that mystery. So alternating between third person and first person is a device some writers use. Third person for the protagonist, first person for the antagonist. Um, and sometimes it's reversed. I've seen it reversed. This happens more often in thrillers where the main protagonist speaks in the first person and the antagonist is always like mysterious, kind of he or she with no name. I've seen that work in third person. So you can play around with it. You just have to be sure that once you choose your point of view, that's what you're doing. And that's true for each character. So, for example, if you start out with the antagonist telling their version of the story in first person, you don't want to switch to third person later on. Um, so make sure that you like the choice that you're going to do. If you don't, what's going to happen is in your editing phase, you're going to have to go through and change everything from third person to first person or from first person to third person, and that's kind of a tedious job. So that wouldn't be something to look forward to. But I can understand how you might want to make that switch. All right. So it's your choice in storytelling. Third person limited point of view is actually the standard storytelling device in popular fiction, and it certainly works well in mysteries. So use this point of view to your advantage as you create a mystery for your sleuth. Okay, I hope that helps. And if you have any questions about using third person point of view or alternating characters or whatever it might be, um, just put them in the comments and we'll get those questions answered. So thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. Keep writing.